Okay.
Hi everyone, my name is Bhakti Sharma and I've recently completed my post-graduation diploma from JS Institute of Design. Today we have here with us Mr. Munish Chopra, a founding director of Yellow Worldwide, a multidisciplinary design practice. Hi sir.
Hi Bhakti, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
I'm good too. I'm good too. Good day today.
Yeah, it is indeed. I think one of the most prominent reasons why we have you here is to know more about your journey. How have you thought about entering the industry? What all cues you gathered from your surroundings when you were just a graduate, or maybe before that, and how did you embark your journey?
Well, okay. First of all, thanks for having me here. And yeah, it's an interesting journey. Started long time back. Don't even remember. I'll be old. I'll look very old then. But anyways, it was started somewhere around. But design journey started as in childhood actually.
Okay.
Very frankly, if I can share that I was fortunate enough to be exposed to the realm of design because of the setup my father had. We had a printing press back in Ludhiana, and there was a graphic design department over there. And I mean, imagine 1988, first time I'm seeing a Apple computer and everything, and getting to work on it. So that was the joy that started my design journey. It was intriguing, interesting. Nobody had anything around then with anybody, and you having a computer with you.
Yeah.
I mean, and it was a blessing. So that's where my design journey started, and interest in journey started. So I kept at it after my graduation and everything. I did masters in design from NIFT, and post that I joined an events company for a bit, and then after that I joined Benetton as a visual merchandiser.
Okay.
And that's when I further understood. I can cut it. Okay, sorry. I further understood the realm of interior design and everything, and from there I diverted to interior design, and more specifically retail design. I specialize in retail design, retail experience design, and so yeah, that's the journey. That's how Yellow Worldwide came into being. Started consulting some clients, and one thing led to the other. Touch wood, we are in a safe place now.
Yeah, it definitely sounds like an interesting journey for you to start with graphic designing to visual merchandiser to then interior designing and mainly retail design.
Yeah.
So, are there any project of yours that have garnered a lot of attention among the people?
I don't know. I mean, that's I don't know. I don't know. I mean, I honestly don't look at what public attention is or something. I actually, very frankly, honestly, I work in design because I actually enjoy it. From the childhood time, I had this interest in understanding human behaviors, right? And how to influence them. I was the devil in me. How do I make people behave in a certain manner? The advertising world fascinated me. Oh, I have also done advertising for a bit. And so I was in Bombay with an advertising agency for some time. And because I had interest, I wanted to do that. I have done ad campaigns for that matter. So, I mean, those ad campaigns have gathered a lot of interest, if I may say. From interior design perspective, yes, I've been fortunate enough to do some interesting projects all across the country. I remember like 7-8 years ago, we did a project in a small town, Bareilly. And the brief was, how do you make it look like it's Singapore, the outside of the building. So we innovated with glass and lights and everything, built a lit glass facade. I think one of the first of its kind in India, if I'm not wrong. But so that's one interesting that got a lot of attention. Then there are many actually. Then obviously we did some Malmal stores. They get a decent attraction. We've done Acho stores. They get a decent attraction from a retail point of view. And then obviously there is Jagdish store.
Yeah.
so it is. I hope it's garnering a lot of attention. All I can
Yes,
say, but
it
I
is.
never follow that, so I don't know. But yeah.
Yeah, cool. Okay, is there any any particular niche that you like while working in design industry? Anything
Yes.
that you like doing the most?
Yeah. So primarily, yes, the niche I'm comfortable working the most is, or I enjoy working the most probably is when I'm doing experience designs or setting brand templates. When I say setting brand templates, like Acho being an online brand, they wanted to launch offline, and we had to devise the look and feel of how physically the brand would look and feel, right? How, what should be the elements be? So that's a very joyous and a very rewarding journey. You have to understand the brand culture, ethos, and then you have to understand how retail works, how a human being behaves. So ultimately, I have to affect your behavior. I have to leave you with a certain psychological message when I'm designing the space. So idea is not to just make it beautiful. Like obviously it has to be beautiful, but the idea is what can it do for you? What can
Yeah.
it do for the brand? So those kind of challenges really energize me, and I really look forward to those challenges where I get to do certain new work, or how do I manipulate the consumers? How do I make them change their behavior while they are in the showroom? So we set briefs like that for most of my projects, even if we're doing residential for that matter. But most of my projects, we set briefs like there's a brand called Spread Spain. So we did their flagship store, and and they've been our customers ever since. But so the brief was that okay, they wanted to do. They have all these very high-end bed sheets and bed covers. They also have Tom Taylor, used to have Bennett and Esprit in their portfolio. So now how do you go to the next rung, right? So we devised a place where each brand could be highlighted and the company itself could be highlighted, and people could get a wonderful shopping experience. The objective was, if a customer comes in, the goal set was that if a customer comes in, he should feel wow and just sit down and spend an hour over there.
Oh, okay.
The objective was nothing else. So our measurement tactics are very different for all the brands. Similarly, like Jagdish store, we did a carpet showroom recently. The objective was something that a person comes in, he feels that he's come to Europe, and then he's trying to go into the Mediterranean, and then he gets transcended into that space, and then he just sits down. And those objectives, then when they get answered, that's where I derive my joy, and that's the kind of work I like to do primarily,
Yeah.
personally. Answering your question, a long answer, but yeah.
I've personally been to that carpet store,
Yeah.
and it has been designed so perfectly and nicely. And one feels when one is in the store that he is in some Europe, in
Yeah.
some European times,
Yeah.
and with those huge staircases, and that's really nice. Uh, so, okay, so to summarize, when we are creating a brand or when we are simply designing any space, we need to cater to the psychology of the people who are going to use that space mainly.
Yeah, so basically, I'll tell you with the Yellow Worldwide, and at we practice human-centered design practice. So, and there are many other shoots, usability designs or user-centric design. So the thing is that that's the practice that we believe in. The idea is like, who is the end user?
Yeah.
You have to design with that end user in the midst, and how can I influence, or what is the experience that should be given to that user? That's where you design. That doesn't. So you may be my customer.
Yeah.
Like let us say. Jagdish store is my customer. I did not design for them. I designed for the consumer that's going to come to them. So even if they like something or not like, it doesn't matter. We have to fight that. We have to justify that. So at YWW, we have a very basic principle: everything for a reason and a reason for everything. And so a very basic principle we have in design practice, design thinking. So whenever you're approaching things, if you have a reason for it, right? So you are able to do justice to it, right? And you have to find those reasons. That when I say reasons, doesn't mean that you are stubborn. You have to find those reasons. Those reasons have to be justifiable, right? So yeah, so that is how we work.
Yeah, so the reasons need to be justified and the reasons need to cater to the end users.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Right.
And I think that's really practical too.
Right.
So, coming back to another segment of the demographics here, people who are, just joining the design industry.
Yes.
What should be their expectations when they've recently graduated from a design college or design school?
Okay. So what happens is that, okay, so what should their expectations be, or what are, like, what do you think, what do you want me to understand? Like, give me the industry perspective,
like, let's
or
say that they've
what a design journey is all about.
Okay, that too. But what I really need to know right now is when they are entering into, let's say, a mid-sized firm, a mid-sized design firm. So, what should be, their expectations
Okay.
while working, or let's say, monetary value terms?
The only
too.
expectation they should have is have no expectations. That's the only way you will be surviving. But yeah, you can expect, see, the first thing that should not go with an expectation to any organization for that matter is that you should not go with an expectation of feeling privileged, right?
Yeah.
Or having a special treatment just because I'm a designer, so I'm a designer, right? No, you are rung one. You have to climb a ladder. Designer is a very big journey, right? It's an ever-going journey. So you have to be willing to learn, be willing to be. You expect a lot of hard work. If you put in a lot of hard work in the sense that you're learning the tropes, the tricks, and the skill sets, it is a long journey. I mean, so you have to be ready to be. What can I say? You have to be ready to take feedbacks and criticism also.
Yeah.
At times, rejections, a lot of them. As a young designer, when you're coming out of it, many times your ideas will be just pushed down, right? Maybe many times, or many times they might be picked up and bloated upon, right? The ones that get bloated upon, you can feel nice, but don't let it affect your egos, because the teamwork, ultimately the trained eyes and everything, the setup, could risk on it and build upon it, right? So it's a teamwork always. Similarly, if it's a rejection, it's nothing personal. It is basically because the design practice has a certain idea or a principle that they had to adhere to, right? And yours was not fitting there. That doesn't mean yours is bad. Many people take it very personally. Oh, they said this, oh, this my design was bad or something. Oh, they start reevaluating themselves. No, it's not like that. It just didn't fit there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. All of this, from all of this, what I've been reminiscent of the time that we have that installation at HGH, and let me tell you guys, he was our mentor there, and we, built up this entire installation in just the span of 5 days?
Yeah, you guys made it.
4-5 days, and that installation also showcased the life journey of a designer and how things are completely different, and how one needs to mold himself or herself into becoming this really improvised version of them when they actually enter into a design firm or industry in general. Okay, so coming back.
So that was that installation by itself. See, that's how a design process takes place.
Yeah.
You yourself don't know the outcome initially.
Yes.
But you build it block by block, and that's the transformation that happens during that time. You're not able to understand it, why it's happening, but at the end of the journey, you actually end up blooming.
Yeah.
So that is when. So similarly, it happens with us with every project we do. Every new project, I'm nervous. I don't know what to do. We try to hustle and do whatever, like put in our best, something, and the journey sometimes is bad, stressful. But in the end, when the end product comes, it all feels justified. So that's the beauty of this industry. We are able to create something, and then you can see them, and then you can show them others also, right?
Yes.
That's a very big beauty of this industry. That while you're doing something creative, and you're also it's from your mind, when it takes form, that experience is totally different, right?
Yeah.
And that is where I mean, I don't know. We can't explain that moment. It just
Yeah.
feels joy. That's all. I
Can you
guess.
like remember any memorable or a funny moment during one of the projects that you've
Yeah, but funny
done?
moments happen every day. I mean, any bad moment, I call it a funny moment now.
Okay, that's great.
Because after some time we laugh at it. Okay, यार तब ये हो गया था. अरे shit, उस time band बज गई थी. अभी ये क्या? So all this kind of things happen, right? So memorable. Yeah, lots of things and projects have been memorable. A lot of journeys and partnerships with the clients have been memorable. I've been blessed to have very nice, interesting, trusting clients, and I've been also blessed to have nice people around me who help us do all this amazing work, if I can say so. So, but yeah, work is always amazing. I'm not linking it to the outcome. It is the journey that we travel together. That's always an amazing journey. So every project has a memorable moment. So like if I want to tell you, they'll have to tell you so many. But yeah, like very simply put, like let us say in Archo, let me take an example of Archo. Now the team, even the founders, they are young, not from design background per se, and then we are here. They are totally they built this brand, a beautiful brand, grown it fast, but they totally trusted us. Cushman Wakefield suggested us to them. And so over there now they come there. Now we have to understand what is the Jaipur-based brand, Jaipur style brand, but not let it look too Jaipuri also,
Yeah.
right? So that's the kind of challenges. So in that it was memorable from the fact that we got to experiment a lot, and we tried to introduce modernism and those Jaipur or Rajasthani aesthetics into that brand while keeping the brand language in mind and brand customer in mind. So it was an interesting journey wherein now the funny part is we ended up we had to have an opening and everything. So retail is always a fight against time many times, especially when you're doing some crazy ass work. So because you're experimenting a lot with products and everything. So like yeah, that just before the opening, we put a curved screen and it stopped working, and then somebody comes and fix it up, and then suddenly the top is showing at the bottom and the bottom is showing at the top, and like we are opening and we have to cut the ribbon and everything. So those kind of small funny moments, project related happens. Otherwise, yeah, we are a fun loving practice, so we have a lot of fun things. You can't say it here, so it's okay.
I remember a few years back, I took a fancy on wearing traditional clothes. So I remember I used to scroll through each and every product, on Archo's website, and it's so fascinating how you have tried to incorporate that. That image, that online image that I have of Archo into the product as well as into the site and the space, and how you have tried to fuse in traditional hues and things that are so visually appealing and things that remain in your memory for such a long period of time, and that's very interesting and fascinating.
Thank you. I mean, it's the kudos goes to the brand team over there also. We just try to understand it and do it, and yeah. So as I told you, like in a design practice, like particularly in ours, I can't tell about others. In a design practice like ours, so we have these ethos where we keep on trying to go to the core. Like I said that everything for a reason and a reason for everything,
Yeah.
and that then obviously HCD or human centered design. I'm a big fan. I'm a big observer of human behavior. I mean, that's how I actually got involved in this interior design. I'm an accidental interior designer for that matter. So yeah, I've studied communication design and I'm based in that. Before that, I wanted to be in advertising. I wanted to make films. I made films for that matter. But over here I get to play the devil, so I enjoyed that part. Okay, how do I make you believe in a certain way? How do I make you behave in a certain way? How do I make you walk in a certain way? These are my playful projects for me. So I want to make people behave like this. I want to make them behave like this, do this. So And most of the time that happens because you put science and logic and design together. I mean, I'm from a retail science background for that matter, because VM and everything, I was doing VM for Benetton and Marks and Spencer. Where we scientifically also applied towards the VM and understood what needed. That's when I understood, actually, very frankly, at that time, there was no institutes who were focusing on in commercial interior design. Everybody, interior design was like houses and do this and that, and so, or even architects for that matter. So nobody was doing retail design or that kind of a thing properly. So when plans used to come, we used to like, what is this sign? What is this? So I used to get it changed a thing, because I understood business movements, customer behavior, like these guys not understanding. So that's where I understood the gap in the market, or the opportunity, you can say, that okay, I mean, nobody's understanding, because I've done from the marketing, I understand the brand side, I understand the advertising side, I understand this side. So I wonder why people are not understanding the design side of it, interior design side of it. So that's where I entered this, and accidentally started doing interior design for retail spaces, because there was nobody else who would understand interpret it the way we were interpreting, because the design journey for us is a bit longer than usual. We just don't put out a design first. We have to go through a lot of layers of understanding, questioning. So yeah, that's a big thing for us.
Well, it's very, very intriguing how you can delve yourself into, a lot of different psychologies that run into an individual's mind, and then create something that would remain inside their minds for their life.
Yeah.
Nice.
We call it psychological branding, actually.
Yeah.
So we call it psychological branding in the sense that, so I'll give you an example. Psychological branding happens all around you. Like the moment I say color red, 90% of the chances Coca-Cola is going to come to your mind.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And how did they achieve that? Do you think the umbrellas are there just because they were doing some favors? No, the red umbrellas are there everywhere. The red coolers are everywhere around the streets or the corners or the highways, because they wanted you to associate red with Coca-Cola without saying it. Right? So you keep on getting bombarded. The moment you say red, and say, oh, Coca-Cola. So that's psychological branding, right? So they're not even branding. They never said, okay, red is Coca-Cola. Like, yeah. So that is similar approach. We try to delve into the similar kind of thing. Okay, how can I psychologically impact a person when I'm designing new spaces? Not only visually, but psychologically, silently. I'll give you another example for that matter. Like one of the projects where we did that spread project I was talking about, where I said the customer should come here and just sit down and spend 1 hour over there and enjoy. And people who used to visit there, we used to ask them, okay, did you notice anything over there? Oh, do you know there was something on the ceiling? Oh, I didn't notice. Oh, what was the floor? Oh, I didn't notice. And that is where my real achievement actually felt very happy, because our another objective was, and that belief is, that design has to be silent. The moment your design is shouting, then the product is not shouting. Oh, right? Yeah. So the design has to be silent, but it impacts. It's the atmosphere we are creating. It is the
ambience, the
ambience, atmosphere, the behavior that we are creating, right? So that is what, yes, ambience. So how do you feel in that space? So we design for feelings, for that matter. So like we always say that we design for feelings. So why human-centric design? Humans have feelings. Humans behave in a certain way. They are emotional. They get hurt, or so we use all those emotions, all those things to our benefit. And how can I put this in a design? They like, as human being, you would always want convenience, right? But at the same time, you would always want to have a sense of value. But value doesn't mean cheap. And even an expensive thing can be made to look valuable. A diamond is forever. A diamond is precious now, right? Yeah. But it seems valuable, whatever the price be, right? Oh, it's valuable. It's value. So people, that misconception of linking value with price used to happen. That's what also we worked upon while consulting our clients. So designing happens from a lot of aspects, I was telling you. So it is basically developing the way of thinking. It also helps you in other aspects of your life, for that matter. Like you've studied interior design, right? So now I'm sure it has impacted the way you think and approach things.
Yeah.
Right? So so that by itself is a reward. That by itself is a reward, because you don't take things as problems, you take things as challenges.
Yeah.
That's the shift that happens.
Yeah.
You don't look at things as problems. You say, okay, this is the challenge, now what do I do? So that's design thinking. Because you've been ingrained with that, you've gone through it, you lived through it. Before making that installation, everybody would have been, okay, how will we do it? So little time.
Yeah.
Right. But then
Yeah, we
it gets
did
done,
it.
right? So because now there was no problem, it was a challenge. So that thinking changes, a lot of things like that change. So when you go through this education of a designer, I think it's one of the, personally, I think it's one of the best uh, design or non-design. So one of the best education somebody can have. I mean, even in IT or anywhere, people are always looking for design thinkers. And design thinking is the biggest thing globally anyways. So there are courses like strategic design management and all, which Columbia or even the Stanfords and all those kind of people run. And over there, designers are preferred, right? And then they head the companies where the IT guys are working. Because now the guy who's making the iPhone, he's a designer, right?
Yeah.
Right. The tech team is supporting
Yeah.
him, right? So that design thing, so you get into that zone, right? So interior design per se, if I would say why is that interesting, is because you live it and it's very near to you, and things can be shaped or done kind of easily. If I have to design I've designed a water bottle and a soda water bottle. Now industrial design, so we do that also. That is why we are called a multidisciplinary design studio, for that matter. We do a lot of things. But then because of my design thinking or education, I'm able to do so many things because I enjoy doing things. I'm a polymath, so I get bored very easily. I don't like routine. And I love challenges. I mean, I like I like to question and reason, and why not? Like why not? Why can't I make it better? So one of our taglines of the company is make it, say it, do it better, right? So yeah, why not make it better? So is there any better way to do it? Is there a better mousetrap? So that thinking has gone in. So which is thanks to my design exposure, thanks to my design education, that it opened doors for me. Like had I not done my master's in design, I may not have been in this field, for that matter, because I got exposed to this field and this world, because I was always interested in advertising as a kid, right? And manipulating humans' behavior, building brands. That was something interesting, because I started graphic design early, and I just didn't like just the design part was not good, but what it did beyond, like if I change the color from red to blue, then what happens?
Yeah.
Not just visually. What does the person feel? So I was very observant from very early on. So that helped me in my design journey. So once I started design, now I looked at different layers, and I was given the opportunity to explore things which otherwise I would not have. I would have been doing it in my own comfort zone, in that small bubble. Now, when I was exposed to a lot of challenges, like when you're studying interior design, you've been exposed to commercial design. You've been exposed to retail design. Yeah. You've been exposed to hospitality design. Otherwise, you would have just thought about interior design and home design, right? Yeah, you would have just done a home and everything. But then there are so many other things which are also equally rewarding and challenging. And when you do those other things, even your home design gets better. Yes. Because you take elements and knowledges from there and say, oh, I can do something. Or a very classic case, we designed a house. So now, while designing house, I learned from my retail design techniques and everything. Over there also, we apply the same principles, everything for a reason. So we see the usability of the members of the family. Okay, what are you going to do? How are you going to live? What is your day schedule like? So whole interview goes on for a couple of months, where we try to understand to the aspect, do you segregate winter and summer clothes, and how do you segregate it, where do you segregate? Then you need a space for doing all that, right? So understanding, and where would you wash your clothes? Who would wash your clothes? How do you wash your clothes? Right? So you have to understand, and then you design solutions. So it's not that I will design a better machine or something. It's just that with the knowledge I have, because of the design thinking questions, I am able to create an environment where they can enjoy their life, relax while having a beautiful home. So, so so we learn a lot. So like an entertainment corner, we understood over time that people love shopping. A lot of it is for entertainment reasons also,
Yeah.
right? So entertainment is a very big part of your life. So how do you make your spaces entertaining also, right? Your homes. So over there, then we get into the entertainment corners, like not necessarily a home theater. Home theater may work for somebody, may not work for somebody, because it limits the socializing part of it. Or sometimes it's the whole experience is going out to the cinema, and the whole experience, not about the movie, it's about the whole experience, the popcorn. You want to pay that $500 for a 50 rupee popcorn. Yes, you want to do that, right? It's not about, so people don't understand that is human.
Yeah.
Your human nature. So when you design things around it, when you start observing things around it, even your homes start getting better, right? So that is what I think like design education by far teaches you a lot, and it teaches you how to overcome challenges, see everything as a challenge. I mean, it's opened up so many streams. Like this podcast, otherwise, is also a part of a design process thinking, right? Now, while we were doing it, so we are sharing the information. You have this information. You're also doing a lot of things like that, because your mind is open. Now it is not a limited mindset. Unfortunately, in India, it was all about engineering, medical, or whatever, that CA, doctor, whatever shit, right? So like I also am a non-medical student. I wanted to fly, but my reasons were very different. So I wanted to be a pilot. So unfortunately that happens. But now fortunately there are avenues and good schools and colleges. I never had those in my time. We just had one or two institutes where we had to struggle to get in. Like imagine so many people, like for 20 seats, I think the one of the 20 seats I got, I think they were like, what? Yeah, I think almost lakh applications. Now, and that's the kind of competition you are competing against. And it's not that you're good or bad, it's just the number. The statistically, even if you're the best, statistically it's very difficult to get in. So fortunately I got it. That's about it. So now, but that is where the whole thing is, that there are so many good institutes that are coming up, and they are working. Like I'll recommend, I'll compliment JSID for that matter. Like you've been interacting with a lot with the industry and getting industry people to talk and discuss. I mean, I wish I had it. I really wish. I mean, my progression, my path would have been faster for sure. So yeah, that's the.
Yeah, it is. I mean, I come from an economics background, so when you are reading economics or when you're studying economics, you tend to think about things very practically, and you tend to think that every consumer that you are going to deal with, or every consumer in the world, is a rational being and is always going to take rational and predetermined decisions about his or her life.
Yeah,
but after entering into the design field, I've understood that it might not always be true, and it is not true, because human beings are so irrational, they are so spontaneous, and they take up they, like the example that you gave, when we go to a movie theater to watch a movie, we are compelled to buy those popcorns even when we're predetermined, even when we have taken up that decision very long way ago that we're never going to buy popcorns, but we do it. So that's the, if you're in a space and so wherever you go, and wherever even if you're going to a retail space, a residence, or a hospitality space, you are compelled to do things which you not have thought of. So human beings are not at all.
That is very, very interestingly put, that you studied economics and the rational behavior. I also did some bit of economics in BA. My graduation was in economics, so I've also studied a bit of it. So so like for me, I think that's the biggest flaw. Rational is when you on needs. It's not desires, and human beings love and live for desires, not needs. So when it is about survival, that's being rational. But when it's about desires, living, or
when it's about
then it's
Having a
all about
lifestyle.
emotions. So
Yeah.
that is exactly what I'm saying. We design for emotions, for feelings, right? Because we compel you to make those decisions. So that is the power of retail design.
Yeah.
So now you feel like you say you're rational. So idea behind it is okay. I keep telling customers the whole idea behind it. There are walls of rationality.
Yeah.
And the customer as he walks inside your store, I have to keep breaking them. So it starts from the facade, then the window display, then what is the first interaction, the display over there. He should keep on, wow, wow, wow. Oh, every rational. Oh, this is nice. So many times you would have gone and done things or bought things just because you liked the experience, no
Yeah.
matter the price, right?
Yeah.
And but if you go to a Sarojini Nagar kind of a place, you wouldn't buy an expensive stuff even if it is good.
Yeah.
So rationality, where does it go? Goes for a toss, right? Because rationally it is good, but an expensive stuff you will buy from a nice ambience. Over there, even a bad stuff you'll say, okay, it's fine,
Yeah.
but I'm liking them. So human beings are emotional by nature. So that's rational is survival. So as I keep on saying to people, like many times, like I keep on saying, when my clients discuss with me, sometimes when I'm educating them. So big part of my work is I have to educate a lot of my clients. So that's also fun, because otherwise you have to bring them to the table. So that is one another thing that I would recommend to young designers, upcoming designers like you and others out there. That's you can't go to a customer expecting him to see what you see. First, you have to bring him to the page, your same page, right? And you can't also expect him to understand what you're saying without actually priming him up to understand. So like I'm looking at this cup. You don't see a handle, but there's a
Yeah.
handle. There's a handle here, right?
Yes.
Now you're looking from there. I'm looking it from here. Both of us are right. But so what is the priming process? The priming process is okay. Look, there will be a handle also. There will be this also. But now this is the design.
Yeah.
There's a very simple thing. So now that priming process is very important, so that people are able to see. That is where communication design becomes very important. What is communication? Now, communication is not about just throwing words out there. It's about how the other person is going to understand and what is the reaction is going to get out of it. So those are the principles that also are there. So as a young designer, you have to be ready to also educate.
Okay.
And also get educated, for that matter. What they are saying, you get educated, and you have to educate them also, in the sense that like if you know that your design is doing this, you have done this, because if you've done it with reason and logic, you will be strong.
Yeah.
Right. A very simple test is, I never give my clients 2 options
Okay.
or 3 options.
Okay.
I give them 1 option. I said, but I give them a thought through option, and then I say, okay, now let's discuss about it.
Yeah.
This is what the brief was. We did this. Now this is it. We think this is this. This is because we argue. Then we just argue in the sense that we discuss about it and we sell it and we try to understand. And then we take his point down. Okay, this is not working. Then that goes there. Because if I'm unsure as his doctor,
Yeah.
right? So I'm a doctor for his brand or his retail spaces. If I'm unsure as his doctor, then God bless any patient, right? So doctor has to be confident, right? So, but to get that confident and to be justified and to be verified, you really have to work hard as a designer. You have to be really honest with yourself and your practice. That is one thing, again, every young designer should aim to imbibe, is that be honest with yourself and your practice. Work never betrays you. This is something somebody told me, that whatever you give it, it'll give you back. So it'll give. If you don't give it commitment, you will never get rewards. If you don't give it the intensity, you will not get. But work gives you manifold, unlike relationships. But it is like, that's human. Here why you enter, like, okay, like when you are entering into relationships, there are emotions, and you are also. So similarly, when you're entering into work, it's the relationship you're building, right? And you enter into education, it's a relationship you're building. As long as you understand that, like by giving only you will get, otherwise you don't get, right? Or expecting doesn't really solve the problem. It's like how much of you are committing to it and you're willing to grow with it. That really helps. So it works in your education and your job sphere also. Like later on,
Yeah.
if you guys are interested in doing jobs or something. So yeah, it helps that.
It's really intriguing to see it like this way. I mean, we all, or every individual that is there on this planet, have, has his or her own perception of the reality.
Yeah.
Right? So, getting in contact, I mean, getting a client and, getting to know his or her expectations with you or with us is to delve into their perception of the reality. And I
Yes.
think it's quite challenging to know that.
Yeah.
When you're.
Yeah, it is quite challenging to know that. Fortunately, I just have to get into the personality as a designer, or you also have to, just for the project and for the part you are doing.
Yeah.
You don't have to get into their lives for that matter, or personal matters for that matter.
Really like that, I really like the approach that you use with them. You only give them one option and then you argue about the other options that they might possibly can have. So it's really nice that
So, but that is something that I found it wrong in the design industry when there were people working. I mean, okay, but what are, like, you can give options. I'm not against people who give options. I mean, it's a good thing. I'm just all I'm saying is, then why, for me personally, it didn't feel right. For me, because I work with clients very closely and as a prescription agent. It's not that options don't get generated. Don't get me wrong. The options get generated at two stages while we are brainstorming. Then we go with what we think is the best. I have to understand that what is things to be best. Now, this is my best currently. I'll present to the client. This was the brief. This is what we are thinking. Now, give us your feedback. Let's discuss about it. Now, after that, if there are things, we may end up giving more options later. Right?
Okay.
But then now the options will be more functional after the input.
Yeah.
They're more rewarding, even for the client, even for you.
Yeah.
Right? Otherwise, they're just options.
Yeah.
And then you can say, I can go to Bombay also, I can go to Pune also, I can go to Chennai also, for that
Yeah.
matter. So you tell me where to go. But the clients hired you.
Now
Right.
you've gained a lot of insights about the client. So
Yeah.
now you can give them more practical and
So for that,
functional
you have to really
options.
learn about the client and make them friends and be there for them, and really also have to prove your mettle by actually being honest and consistent and committed to your profession and going through the churn, right? So that is where a client, once the client, honestly speaking, like, we don't call our clients as clients. We call our job, like, if you read my profile, they're called love affairs. So these are many love affairs we have. So that is where because we genuinely love our client, we start thinking about them, we start behaving, imitating them, trying to see what is good for them. And it's not like, we really do commit. And that's
Yeah.
my personal practice. And that's what I really hope and wish. And I've been blessed with a team that understands that, does it with me. They really commit, goes in the deep, and they also flower a lot, and this is it's interesting journey. So yeah, so when you understand the client and the client understands and feels that I'm understood,
Yeah.
like, if you're talking to people, if you feel understood, you enjoy more, and you
Yeah.
feel, yeah, okay, yes, this where I can open more.
Yeah.
Right? And that's when the client will also open more. That's when the whole design process will get rich. And then he will also see that, okay, yeah, this guy is talking something for my benefit only. Let me
Yeah.
also give it. Let me not question it. Because everybody in the first time, as a designer, when you'll be going out, the first time, because once you're selling your service, right? You're trying to get paid for it, right?
Yeah.
So everybody would have certain expectations, which they don't know what those expectations are. Most of the people, they just want a beautiful house. Now, what is a beautiful house? I mean, I don't know. Like, for somebody, I may be beautiful, so somebody I may be ugly, right? So beauty is also a perception, right?
Yeah.
Now, understanding first that for whom I'm beautiful, like for the other person, whether or for who for me is beautiful, and then designing that beautiful for me would be easier, right?
Yeah.
So that is where the perception mismatches. Oh, I need a very beautiful house. I said, okay, define beautiful. Right?
Yeah.
What is beautiful for you?
Yeah.
When for me, something might be totally different, may be beautiful. For you, something totally may be different for you, beautiful. So there is no right or wrong in this profession, for that matter, purely. But the right and wrong approaches are there, right? The right and wrong for that particular client might be there. So it's not that your designs are good or bad. It's just that how you interpreted that need was not up to the mark. I hope I'm getting it. I hope I'm clearing it all. Yeah. So
Yeah.
so for young designers, having that attitude to learn. When I say one option, doesn't mean I don't have. For that one option, we create sometimes 50 options internally and discuss and debate. In my office, we fight. The cats and dog, no, this, that. I mean, you worked with us on that installation. We
Yeah.
had so many sketches.
Yes.
But ultimately, we kept on shutting down, and okay, this is the one now.
Yeah.
Now let's explore more in this.
Yeah.
So that is how it happens. The once you come down, trickle down internally with the team, okay, this is the concept which we think aligns with everybody because of the budget, because of this, because of whatever factors are there. Now let us explore more. Yeah, so that is how generally it happens. So yeah.
And
Uh,
it's, I mean, I don't think that it's laborious at all. It's very interesting and it's it's intimidating at times, yes, but it's an interesting process.
yeah, like depends how you look at laborious, but yeah, if you as simple as that, if you enjoy and love what you do,
Yeah.
you never get tired, and we enjoy and love what we do. We try to do more of it, so never get tired. But yeah, there are aspects to it where you have to do a lot of dirty work. So design by itself looks very glamorous from outside. No doubt it is. But then there are other underlying players. When you with the other underlying things, you have to be good at your drafting skills. The skills are very important. You can only uh, achieve heights if you're a good skilled person, right? Your skills are very important initial years for sure, because that is what's going to help you grow, give you more. And then creative flair later. People mistake it the other way around. People try to say the creative flair first and skills later. No, it's the other way around. Skills first and then top it with a layer of creativity. It goes crazy. But if you have creativity but then not skills to back it up, it will fall someday or later, right? So that is why institutes and colleges and everything, I feel, are so important, and kids should take them very seriously and take opportunities, whatever opportunities are there for internships or whatever, take them on and learn the skills. And you're getting a place where you can experiment and go wrong, and that's such a beautiful thing. Fail, you get an experience to fail.
Yeah.
And you won't have implications to it. If I fail in my projects, there's no margin to fail. Yeah, there's margin to learn, but keep on improving. But if I fail, it has a huge impact on my career, on my school, everything.